Of CGTN. Today we talk to a self-made English-Chinese translator. Back in 1995, she dropped out of school where she studied clothing design, but she found herself extremely interested in the English language, and over the past 26 or 7 years, she has been teaching herself English to be an English-Chinese translator. And today we are lucky to have her in our program, and now we are in her home. So welcome to our program. Welcome. So would you like to say hi to our viewers around the world?
Hi guys. Nice to meet you all. I'm Yuan. I come from Qingdao. 44 years old. I'm a scavenger. Scavenger.
Okay, that's very good. So you have been learning English for almost over 20 years to be exact, right? And you used to study clothing design, and because you found yourself extremely interested in the English language, and you decided to study English ever since then. And you have met a lot of difficulties, right? So can you tell me what makes you stick to your dream to be an English translator, though it is extremely difficult for you?
I have been learning English for over 20 years. I want to get rid of, my ignorant countryside environment. It's my dream to get to know the people who are knowledgeable. But I didn't have the chance. I like reading, and I have always wanted to be a writer. But I need more training sessions through translation. There's a possibility to achieve my dream.
So you are a scavenger right now.
Yes.
And then you have been learning English, or you have been reading ever since you were a child because you wanted to know more people who are knowledgeable to change your life, to change the status quo, right? So how do you learn English? As far as I know, back in the 1990s in China, it was extremely difficult actually, especially if you live in the countryside of China. Now it has been improving a lot. And then can you tell me how you studied English in the first place? As a scavenger, it is always deemed or imagined impossible to master this language. And so how did you learn this language in the first place?
It's a tough call in the old time.
In the old times?
Back to the 1990s, it was very difficult. We used recorded. We had a limited material, some news magazines, some English textbooks, such as the Family USA, New Concept English.
New Concept English, or Family USA, right? So a lot of materials, and you also use the recorder to learn English. So how about those people around you? How did they react to it? Did they find you crazy or something? Because you told me like they usually called you, the nickname back then in your countryside is they called you a crazy woman, right?
Yes.
How did they react to it, like about your passion for English literature?
They think, I'm not an ordinary people.
Like ordinary people, you are special.
Yes, I'm very different from them. But I like,
You like reading.
Reading. I like reading. I like to read some newspapers, novels, magazines, something like that.
Novels, English newspapers, and also some other books, literature-wise, right? Why do you find them fascinating about newspaper and also novels? Like, what novels do you like reading? I know you translated a book back in 2017, an English book, right?
Yes,
The Lost. And then you translated the book from English to Chinese in 4 months, right? So why do you find literature so fascinating, so interesting?
I want to be a writer, but it needs some session classes, literature session classes, but I have no chance. I think, through English, I may achieve my dream, to contact some knowledgeable people. And another point, English literature, British English, British literature is very similar with Chinese.
With Chinese literature, British literature and Chinese literature, you think they share a lot of similarities?
Yes.
Why?
For love affair, for customer. For
the customs, right?
For the customer,
like the tradition or love
tradition,
affairs or
love
something
affair.
related. We do have a lot.
Relationship. We share a lot of similarities.
Why do you think we share similarity? Because Britain and China, the UK and China, are like two very different countries. In what way do you think the literature works, the Chinese literature works, and the British ones? We share some similarities. Why?
Because I have read a lot of English novels. Through the books, I feel it.
You feel it. That is right. Okay. British English, British literature, and Chinese literature, and my major is British literature. And I do agree with you. They do share a lot of similarities that you said, like when it comes to relationships or love affairs. And both people, so the two peoples, I would say, were very conservative when it comes to those things, right? Okay, for those who just tune in, this is CGTN, and we are broadcasting live in Qingdao. And we are at this moment talking to a scavenger, a self-made English Chinese translator. And you have been teaching yourself English for almost 26 or 27 years, right? To be a translator. And we have got some comment now. So we have Angela Nelson, and Nelson says, she is a little bit nervous. Like, you sound nervous. Don't be nervous and just calm down and carry on. Just like some easy talk. And then, okay, so Anthony Nelson says, of course, some encouragement, you are doing well. Anthony Nelson said you are doing well. And also we have someone from Jianhua, hopefully I have pronounced the name right. Great accomplishment, congratulations. Someone is congratulating you online.
Thank you, them.
Thank you. Okay, so we would like to say thank you to them. And of course, if you have any questions, if you are on Weibo or on Facebook, leave your comments down below and we'll get back to your questions as soon as possible. Any questions for her, for Yuan, and of course, leave your comments down below and don't forget to share our post, or don't forget to give us a big heart if you like our post. And now we are gonna continue the talking, and you have been learning English for nearly 30 years, 20 years, and you are a big fan of British literature and translated book in 2017. But the book actually was never published. Why? How come the book was not published? Do you have any difficulties?
Because China and Asia culture and Western culture exist a lot of very different. Asian people they don't like the Western. They don't like Western culture. So
you say Asian people don't like Western culture. Somehow. Why? I know a lot of Asian people, like in China, for example, people do like Western cultures. Either it is the British cultures or like American culture, the Western cultures in general, and we actually love them. And in what way do you think? Why do you think Asian people actually are not that interested in Western cultures?
Western culture, indeed, Western culture.
Western cultures are different, of course, different. Like, in what way do you think Western cultures are different? And that it has anything to do with your book? Like, you translated this, but let's come back to this book you translated in 2017. It's called what's the title of the book you translated? The title, the name of the book?
The Lost.
The Lost.
The
by
writer,
a British writer, right?
The British writer is Robert Cray.
Robert Gray. And then, so can you talk about that book briefly? You translated. Can you talk about the book? What's that book about?
It's 悬疑类的。
Okay.
悬疑类。
So a detective story, something like that, right?
对，detective novel.
And then you find the book extremely interesting, and then you translated the book in 4 months, and then it was not published. Okay. So for those who just tune in, this is CGTN, and we're talking to a self-made English-Chinese translator. Of course, she is a better writer than a speaker of this language at this moment, right? And then, of course, please give us more encouragement. Okay, Yuan is a scavenger right now, but she is very different, as she said. Okay, and she has been working very hard for the past 26 years to learn this language, English language, and she does a lot of translation from English to Chinese. But she at this moment finds speaking this language a little bit difficult. And of course, don't forget to give us hearts and some encouragement so that we can carry on with the conversation. And if you have any questions, don't forget to leave your comments down below. And then we were talking about your book, and then so it is said you had a job actually in 2008. You had a job back then, like 10 or 11 years ago, right now, and you quit the job to study this language. Do you think it was worth it?
Yes, I think if I will to be a translator, are worth it. It's worth it.
So it is totally worth it, right? You think it was worth it, and you give up the job. But how do you make ends meet? How can you make sure that you can live on your life? And you are a scavenger right now. Do you make any money?
I have no money, but my village is a rich village.
Your village is a rich village.
Every people in the village, they have some welfare.
So they are rich. Like every household in your village, they are actually rich families.
They have some money at every at every 怎么容那个春节。
The Spring Festival. So every Spring Festival,
那个8月15那个什么
Spring Festival, the Mooncake Festival, and you go back home.
对 I go back home. At the village, I can get something like 2,000 to 3,000 renminbi per year.
2,000 to 3,000 RMB
per
from the
year.
government. So you get 2,000 or 3,000 RMB or yuan is around $700, 7 or 750 US dollars. That is the fund from the local government, and you are living on this stipend, we call it, right? So we have some questions from our viewers. Jamal Hussein asks, does she have a permanent address? So do you have a permanent address? We are now in her home in the eastern Chinese city of Qingdao, and you have been renting, right? Do you have a permanent address and you rent this place, right?
My permanent address is Qingdao suburb, Qingdao suburb, Chongyang village.
District, in Chongyang district in the eastern Chinese city of Qingdao. And you live here. So do you live here alone? Or do you move a lot?
I moved a lot, because I'm a woman. I have no dare to, go somewhere so far. So I choose somewhere near my permanent
address?
Permanent address.
Okay.
Okay.
So you think because you're a woman and you don't want to move too far away from your hometown, because your hometown is here, and then you just move around this village, right? But you move a lot still. Okay, I'm sorry. That is from Jamal Hussein. So actually, she doesn't have a permanent address and she moved a lot. And Hussein also asks, does she have any formal education in English?
Formal
education in English.
Formal.
Because you learned English yourself.
Formal. Yes. From my junior high school.
From your junior high school. Okay. So you learned English from your junior high school.
Yes.
And ever since then
I have a base study.
Some basics, right? Some basics
study.
Of this language, and then ever since then you have been teaching yourself English, right? So you studied English for how long in your junior high school? How long did you study English in junior high school?
How long? 3 years.
3 years. So you studied English. So she actually studied 3 years in your junior high school. And then ever since then you have been teaching yourself English for like 23 years, right? And also we have a viewer, Michael Sauter, asking, your passion and commitment is incredible, and you and everyone who knows you should be very proud. So that is definitely some encouragement. You should be very proud because Michael is saying your passion and commitment is incredible to this language. Okay.
是吗？真的吗？
Yes.
I wanted to be, I don't want to be interpreter. I just wanted to be translator. I know my English is very, very poor, but from my 40, I have given up my oral English. I think I will not have a very wonderful future. After all, I have passed 40, so I have began to study English. Just I wanted to be a translator. So oral English is not my.
It's not your strength.
I'm not good at oral English, but I like translator. I like translating. I hope one day maybe I could be a translator. Okay.
So you believe you could be a translator in the future, and that's your dream, right? Okay, so it seems like we have got a lot of comments, and then so that is Hugo Abraham. So he or she said she speaks better than the Chinese English teacher at the school where I taught in China, and that is some encouragement. And someone thinks that your English actually is a lot better right now. Okay, than some Chinese teachers in some Chinese schools. And also we have got some comment from Alice Hilton. Alice Hilton said, I admire her. Okay, Alice likes you and teaching herself English, and I would love to learn Chinese, but it is quite difficult. So I think Alice Hilton is from the United States. Okay.
United States.
So someone would like to, what makes your story quite different is because you are a scavenger and you have been struggling actually a lot in your life, and you have been teaching yourself English, and you just hold on to your dream, and then you never thought of giving up. So my question is, have you ever thought of giving up?
Yes, several years before, I go out a lot. I need people's help. I need they help me to learn how to learn to teach me how to learn computer
How to use a computer.
How to use a computer through a computer. I could to be a translator maybe one day, but they didn't help me. So
no one helped you.
So nobody could help me. I want to give up. I wanted to give up last year, last September.
Last September.
Construction worker who put my story online. So people began to know my story. So I think maybe one day I can achieve my dream.
So someday you could achieve your dream. So actually, only because of the construction worker who put your story online and you became actually an internet celebrity. You became internet celebrity. A lot of people actually knew you on different social platforms, social media. So how did you feel actually? Did you feel that I'm famous now? A lot of people know me online. Did you feel that way? Pardon. Okay, so someone, you just said a construction worker put your story online and you actually became an internet celebrity. You became famous online. A lot of people actually knew you online to be a scavenger who is now a translator, and you translated a book back in 2017. How did you feel? Did you feel that you became famous and then, you know what, I'm a celebrity right now?
No. As a scavenger, I think this is the most exist.生存.
Okay, that is your. that is how you make a living, right? That is how you make a living.
How to make a living is my most favorite thing. So I think celebrity, famous, such things.
It is far away from your life, right? You don't think yourself a celebrity, online celebrity. You don't feel so, right? Even though a lot of people know you about your story. So did you receive a lot of, interviews ever since you became famous online?
Online, yes. People, a lot of people know me, but indeed, I didn't get some changes. Maybe 2 years later, when I would be a translator, life could change.
So life could be different, right? If you become a translator, if you make your dream come true, and you have been working very hard to achieve your dream at this moment.
Yes,
so we have.
I study internet every day.
You study how to use the some tech stuff, your computer, also your smartphone, right? To learn English and also help you translate. That is amazing.
Those days, people who want to study English, there are a lot of ways can achieve it. Through smartphone, through computer. So those days, I'm not studying those. 先进的科技 technology.
So you didn't know how to use those advanced technologies in the past, right? And you are trying to catch up, okay, with the modern technology that everyone is using to study this language or your translation. So for those who just tune in, this is CGTN, and we are talking to a self-made English Chinese translator in the Eastern Chinese city of Qingdao. And at this moment, we are in her home talking to her. She has been studying English or teaching herself English over the past 26 years. If you have any questions, please leave your comments down below. Okay, so we have got some comments, and that is Carmen Gordon. Okay, Carmen says she is a very smart woman, and that's an amazing thing to do, right? And we also got this one on Weibo, Chinese social media, Weibo, Chinese version of Twitter. So what do you do actually in your spare time? What do you usually do in your spare time? Someone is asking this question. What do you do in your spare time?
In your 什么?
In your spare time, what do you do usually?
Usually, 就是 you say past or no.
Yeah, now.
Now,
Yeah.
那个parents 那个 how to use the computer to type to
You're learning typing.
Typing. I'm learning typing, and I'm learning how to send email. How to 那个 how to use WPS.
You're learning how to use the word system, right? Okay. So, do you find them difficult, and is there anyone who is helping you right now?
Yes, a lot of the journalists have, 采访过, interviewed
you.
me.
Okay.
Interviewed me. They gave a lot of help. I thank them very much. Those, those kindly 小伙子 lad. It's very lad. It's very, 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 very nice.
So you have received a lot of help from society and journalists who have been helping you. Okay, so they donated the computer I learned online, and you are learning how to type on the computer, right? Okay, and then so I've got some new comments here. That is a song Gopnu. Okay, so your story of teaching yourself English despite all the difficulties, all the obstacles is really amazing. A very good encouragement for everybody who are watching in these early days of the new year. I'm working with my Chinese study as well. Let's 加油, so let's work together. Okay, that is from that is Seni probably, if I have pronounced your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Okay, Sankuno, and your story of teaching English is amazing. Okay, a lot of people actually, everyone in this world, because of globalization, we have been working very hard to pick up or to learn each other's languages, right? And you have been doing English, and some people are doing Chinese. And we have also got another comment from George Lim. George says, really admire her guts and determination. Someone likes you. A lot of our viewers really like you. Okay, so when you see so many educated young people complaining about their lives, they should look at this woman. Yeah.
I think there is they needn't admire me. I think you are my 偶像.
You are really modest, actually. A lot of people actually they like you because what you are doing right now, you have been sticking to your dream. And then, so George Lim just said there's a lot of young people, educated young people, they complain about life. So what do you complain about the most, actually? Do you have any complaints?
No. I 那个什么来着 material wise, I needn't too much. Spiritual wise, I need a lot.
So you don't actually need a lot of material stuff, and then you need to, that is always about spiritual life, right? You would love to learn something all the time. And we have got this Michael Sorter again asked, not in English, what would be the most helpful to her for her to continue her studies? Okay, so Michael is asking, what would be the most helpful thing for you to continue your study? What help do you need to continue your study?
I need a computer.
You need
and
a computer.
I need some English book, like English to English dictionary. I have no such one, and I need some 考试的 books.
Some exam books, right?
Exam books. English translating, translator course. Something like that.
Okay, so at this moment you need an English dictionary, right? A dictionary.
One
that you need,
computer.
and also a computer.
I only have one. My money is very limited. I'm always afraid one day my computer is wrong or something. We'll have some problem. Something like that. Something like that. If one thing happens, I will. I cannot, 应付 to.
You can't deal with that. Okay.
With that.
So at this moment, Miss Yuan, has a computer because it was donated by someone, right? Okay. And then, so really want to have another computer because that computer breaks down all the time.
No, this computer have to use 3 years. You know, I am very afraid it
So
one
you're afraid
day
it could break down someday. Okay,
yes.
and you also need an English to
English
dictionary. Okay.
and some 就是笔译
some exam books, right? And you are working because you want to be a translator.
Translator.
And you have been working
Yes.
on your translation. You have been honing your skills, and you need some exam books, right, to pass the exam. So in China,
笔译实务
the CAT
这样一些
exam,
课程
right? Okay. So actually, something that we actually take for granted, like the books or computer and everything, probably in different parts of the world, but there are some people actually who need help. And of course, if you have any books or second-hand books or whatever, English dictionary and or probably second-hand or third-hand computers, then you can contact us and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And of course, the donation would go to her to continue her study. And that question is from Michael. And so we have another question. Michael is responding again. So Michael said, where can we send you some books? So someone online, I think Michael, I don't know where Michael is right now. So this is China in eastern China, in the eastern Chinese city of Qingdao. And then, so do you have any permanent address so that someone could send you some books?
青岛市
Okay.
崇
Okay, I've
明
got
区
it.
下中镇
Okay, Michael, that's Michael. I've got your question, and then I would get the address, and I will leave the address on Facebook as soon as possible. And if you have any books, probably if you want to donate some of your books, and then you can send those books to that address. We're going to do that as soon as possible. Okay, and then we have got some other. We have got another comment from Zhao Li. Okay, Zhao Li says, "Way to go, Miss Yuan. Thank you for sharing." A lot of people are encouraging right now. Okay, so what would you like to say to those people, to our viewers who have been covering you?
Thank you all. I'm very glad to know you, to meet you.
Okay, that is very good. So we have got another question from Jolly again. Jolly says, what's her motivation of learning a new language? Ever thought of traveling to an English-speaking country? So Jolly is asking your motivation of learning this language, and we have been talking about that just now. Probably you just tuned in. So what's your motivation?
I have said earlier, I wanted to obtain some knowledge of people.
You want to know some people who are learned.
Through to be a translator, I can achieve my dream. But you know, at beginning I wanted to be a writer, but you know, to be a writer, I need to through some session classes. So.
Okay, that's good. So you want to be, that is a question from Jolly, and the answer is because she wants to be a translator, and you have been working really hard to achieve that.
Knowledge of people.
And you also want to know some people with knowledge, right? Okay, and Jolly was asking, ever thought of traveling to an English-speaking country? Have you ever thought about traveling overseas to an English-speaking country?
I have no such ambition. I have no such ambition. I want to one day I can live a better life.
You
this
want
is
to
my
have a better
big motion. Translating word that need a lot of money.
Traveling around the world is a lot of money.
Yes. After all, I have passed for almost part of my 40s. So 你什么来着？你什么 translating word? Traveling word is not my ambition. I think it belongs to some younger people.
So you think the word is for the youngsters, right? But anyways, you're in your 40s. You are not too old, anyways. You are in your prime years. So traveling to another country is not a big problem, probably. If you can be a translator, then you start to, you know, accumulate some money. Okay, some resources. So we have got some comments from 竹林里的风铃草. Okay, so he or she asks, do you have any online classes? Do you do any online classes? Do you study online? Do you study online on the internet?
Online classes. I'm fresh. I'm almost illiterate about computer.
Okay, you just learned how to use a computer.
Yes,
so not
yes.
yet, you don't
so,
learn online.
yes. I cannot. I just learning. I'm just learning how to use the English. It's a very 新手.
Okay, so you are still a green hand at this moment, right? So she, because she is a better writer, as I said just now, than a speaker of this language. So I would try to rephrase what she said just now. So she just learned how to use a computer, still a green hand at this stage. So she doesn't learn anything online at this moment as yet. And then
I have 软件。就是那个慕课软件 software.
So you have some software so that you can study something online. Okay. So we have got another comment from, that is Yugo Abraham again, and then he or she says, send me the address as well. Yes, definitely we're going to do that. For those who just tuned in, this is CGTN and we are broadcasting live, and we're talking to a self-made translator. She is a better writer than an English speaker, right, at this moment. And she translated a book back in 2017. If you have any questions, please leave your comments down below on Weibo or Facebook. And of course, if you have any books that you want to donate to her, and we're going to leave the address, of Miss Yuan on Facebook and also on Weibo. So if you have any books or any donation that you would like to make, you would like to contribute, and then you can contact us over there. So we have got some other questions. So 竹林里的风铃草 again. So how do you balance your life? How do you balance your life between translation? Because you are doing translation a lot, and it is very time consuming, of course. And then how about your life? How can you strike a balance between your life and your work, your translation work?
It's a difficult thing to balance. If I give up my translation, my English study, I may get a better life, but I don't. But I don't like it. It's very difficult to balance.
Okay, so it is very difficult to actually balance, right? To strike a balance between work and your life. You are still a scavenger at this moment, right? And then that is how.
No, I have give up scavenger.
You are not doing it anymore. You're not doing it. So how do you make a living?
Because my junior high school classmate heard about my story. They donate a lot of money to me. About about almost 10,000.
10,000. So you have got a donation of like 10,000 kwai, 10,000 yuan. 10,000 yuan is over 7,000. No, not over 7,000. Let me see. 10,000. I'm really bad at maths. 10,000 yuan is around. Let me see. About 1,000. Over 1,000. $200, I think, around that money, and you are living on that money at this moment. The donation from your classmates.
I want to through those money, master 就是 computer, how to use the computer skills, and how to type, how to typing, something like that. And I want to translate some, New York Times 就是 newspaper 就是 translate Chinese and send it to some 群翻译群
some WeChat groups, right? Some groups, some translation groups that you have formed. Okay.
Yes.
So that is what you do at this moment. So at this moment you are living on the donation from your junior high school classmates, from your classmates.
对
Okay, and then so that you can focus on your translation work at this moment. And now we have got some comment from Sammy from the United States. Sammy says, all respect to her from Chicago, the United States. So we have got some fans from the United States at this moment.
Chicago is the 那个什么来工业industrial
It's an industrial city.
Industrial city, very famous.
It's very famous.
5·1就是 Chicago 创造的。5·1国际劳动节就是 Chicago 创造。
Oh, that is from Chicago. So okay, so that's the May the 1st, right? And that is originally from the United States, from Chicago, an industrial city. And you have heard about that city. So that is Sammy, and she said that. Yeah, thank you very much, of course, right, to the United States. And Zhao Li is saying, very inspiring. Watching from CGTN headquarters now. She should drop by my office sometime. Yeah, I think that is someone from the headquarters. Okay, and then she says that you should drop by sometime. You should visit CGTN someday, probably. Okay, so and we have got another comment from Sammy, again, from the United States. More power to her. That a lot of people are actually encouraging you at this moment. And we have another comment from Super Xia Dongsheng, and he or she is saying, how do you, and in what way do you think that you can improve your translation?
You can improve improve
translation, your translation work. In what way can you improve your skills?
I have been reading something studying like是the time.
Okay, Times. You have been reading Times.
Beijing Review. China Daily.
China Daily.
Like that. So I'm very confident, like confident, and something like a novel, the British novel. So I'm very confident my translating.
Okay, so you're very confident, right? You're very confident when it comes to translation. Okay.
But I have a little of confident about my oral English.
From the oral English, but when it comes to speaking, it could be a different story, right? Especially when it comes to like most Chinese people.
Yes.
And when it comes to writing, then you could be a very good writer, but when it comes to speaking, then it's a different story. It could be difficult, right? And then we have Sammy again. Thank you. Welcome anytime in Chicago. Yeah, anytime you can go to Chicago.
I have no chance. I think go to Chicago, go to America, but it's a dream.
It's a dream. It's your dream to go to visit the United States.
No. I cannot get a lot of money to Chicago, to America, something like that.
And now we have thank you, Sammy, very much. And we have got another comment. That is Yang Wayne Ken. And then Yang says, would you continue studying English? And then would you continue a life like this? And what kind of life do you want to lead in the future?
I didn't like I didn't like today's life.
You don't like the life right now. You don't like it.
I want to live a better life. I think 2 years later, maybe
in 2 years.
In 2 years, I can live a better life. There is a big house in countryside. I can 饲养 a lot of taking the taking duck and pig something like. I like countryside life.
You like countryside life, and that is, I don't know, I'm guessing, is that part of the reasons that you like British literature? It's a special classic British literature. You can have your big house in the countryside, you have livestock, you have poultry, and then you could enjoy your life and you can do your translation alone at home. And you are a loner. I know, you are a loner, you live by yourself.
Yes. If I 2 years later, I could 2 years 2年以后 I could be a translator. I can know a lot lot of translator. So 那个到那以后我就不会太 loner.
Okay, you wouldn't be a loner anymore, right? In 2 years, and you are giving yourself a deadline. Your deadline is 2 years, and then probably after that, your life would be a lot better, especially because of translation work. For those who just tune in, this is CGTN. We are talking to a self-made translator. She used to be a scavenger, and then now she is trying to work herself up to become an English Chinese translator, right? And of course she needs some help at this moment. And if you have any second-hand books or second-hand dictionary, English to English dictionary, and then you're gonna leave the address down below on Facebook or Weibo, and you can contact us, and also you can send your donation, your books to the address directly. And now we have got some comment that is from Qingdao. Yep, good role model to learn from her. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So we have some comments from Malaysia right now.
Malaysia.
From Malaysia, from Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia, do you know Malaysia? Southeast, yeah, it's a
Malaysia 是哪儿
Malaysia.
Malaysia 马来西亚吗
You know this country, yeah.
Yes, 马来西亚 yes, Malaysia.
Malaysia, okay.
There was a Malaysia newspaper.
You have got
reported
interview.
my story.
You have a journalist from Malaysia came over to interview you.
Not interview, 转载
Okay. Oh. Okay. So they transfer the story. Somehow they forwarded your story, right, from Malaysia. Okay. And then, so ever since your story actually was put up online, you have become an internet celebrity, right? And about your story, about your passion about English literature and this language, and you have been studying this language for nearly 30 years, right? A lot of hard effort. So we have got another comment from I think that is from Weibo. 一年磨一念佛 okay. And Yang Yoshi is saying, it's like, do you have any suggestions to the youngsters in their 20s? Do you have any suggestions
I think
to them?
They need to study to study from CGTN's journalist.
Oh, that is very encouraging actually. You are encouraging them to study from CGTN.
CGTN
So do you have any other suggestions? Like
English
when it comes
very good. English is brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much. Do you watch our show?
So much.
Okay, thank you very much. And you are saying that then to the youngsters, probably if they want to learn English, okay, and of course you can watch CGTN. Yeah, when it comes to English learning, and of course some newspapers. So do you have any suggestions when it comes to their lives in their 20s? And then do you think, let me ask you this question. Do you think
comment.
No comment.
We have a lot of 那个什么很大的代沟
So you have a generation gap, right? So you don't have any suggestions for them? Right?
Yes.
Yes, that means you do have any suggestions.
对
Okay, so do you think, let me ask you this question, do you think that life has been fair for you? Life has been fair. If you had been born 15 or 20 years later,
I have nothing to complain. You know, 上天对任何人都是公平的。我觉得，既然我选择了精神方面的层次方面的追求，我物质方面肯定不会做审视。
Okay, so you think it is you have nothing to complain about, right? And then so it is fair, probably for everyone. Everyone has the same. Not the same life, but anyway, you have the same time, same amount of time, and then you have been devoting your time to English learning. And we have got another comment from Wu Gong Lin Zhi Guang. That is, so do you love English? So you have developed some interest ever since you were a child. So you were very much interested. You were very much interested in the English language. When you were a child, right?
When you are a child.
When you were a child, when you were a kid.
when you were a kid. No, I have no chance to obtain to 那个什么来着 to 接触 to contain
to learn English.
to contact English. Just because when I become a junior high school student, I have the chance to 那个什么接触 contact English.
Okay, so ever since junior high school, and then you have started to learn English, right? Okay, so thank you very much. For those who just tuned in, this is CGTN, and we have been talking to a self-made translator. Over the past 26 years, she has been teaching herself English to become an English Chinese translator, and of course that is her dream. But at this moment, she is living on some donation, and she used to be a scavenger. But she never thought of giving up her dream. And if you have any books, second-hand books or dictionaries, and you can send your books, your donation to the address. We're going to put the address on Weibo or on Facebook as soon as possible, and so that you can send your donation to the address. And thank you very much for your time today. And would you like to say goodbye to our viewers around the world who have been giving you a lot of encouragement?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. That is very concise. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and of course, don't forget to share our post. If you like our post, don't forget to give us a big heart and share our post with your friends. And we're gonna get back to your questions as soon as possible. If you still have some other questions, leave your questions on Weibo or Facebook, and we're gonna put her address on Facebook and Weibo. And if you have any donation or you have any second-hand books that you want to give her, and then contact us as soon as possible. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye.
你太